I think what I just witnessed might be the harem of our generation, because the 100 girlfriends that seemingly really love this dude is such a self-aware, hilarious meme of a show, but they somehow navigate the nonsense into actually having reasons why nonsense can occur. Because in this world, soulmates are a thing. It's like lightning in the bottle. If you come into contact with it, it's literally like, it's a feeling so intense that they're gonna be together, they'll be together forever. Unfortunately, the love god, because there is legit gods in this show, got distracted while watching TV, so when filling out our boy's paperwork, he has 100 soulmates, and that's all well and good. That could be a funny premise. Oh, he's got 100 girls who will really, really like him, and he has to pick one. No, he has to pick them all, because if you're not with your soulmate will die. Some really bad things will happen, and it's like, oh my god. So the idea that okay, because here's the thing. Poly relationships exist. They are a thing, and if people agree with them, they're healthy, right? But the idea of 100 girlfriends, 100-person relationship, ain't no way you could logically say, okay, yeah, 2, 3, 4, yeah, okay, whatever. But that's too much. The idea that it's such a chemical reaction, that the love god out there, the love doctor, makes it such a intense moment that by the end of the first episode, we get the tsundere, and we also get the girl who is probably wetter than anyone at a goddamn slip and slide, because holy hell was the 100 Girlfriends one of the most memorable first episodes of a harem series I think I've ever seen. This is legit hilarious. There's references for days, Tokyo Ghoul. There's a joke about manga readers about how like, oh, you know, didn't I have more lines in the manga? It must have got cut out. Just go watch this one. Full live reaction episode 1 available on my Patreon if you would like to see that. It's over there if you're interested, man. This was good. The only thing I knew about this show was basically the premise that he was gonna have to get 100 girlfriends, and if he didn't end up with all of his soulmates, then they would end up dying. Like, that's what I knew about the show walking in. But what I didn't really know what to expect with the comedy was how the comedy was going to be, because I knew there was a lot of, because I've seen out of context panels of just like ridiculous moments, but that doesn't really tell me how it's gonna feel for an anime. And they kickstart this episode off with a confession. I thought he was playing a dating sim or something. No, just get shot down, and then the ridiculous, almost Gintama level faces pop up, and you just know you're in for a good time. The friend that he's walking home with is like friend A. Like, they don't even take themselves seriously in what should be serious moments, because apparently since he was like an 8-month-old baby, he was confessing his love and being shot down like 100 times. And then in comes this episode as he's entering high school that the love god, I didn't think it was a god. I thought it was just a crazy man at a chapel or something. I mean, we're at a shrine. Old man, old wise man. I thought, you know, it's some goofiness. But no, it's legit a god who screwed the pooch, man. And just watching the idea of just speed running, because that's kind of what this anime is. It's speed running harem tropes and cliches, while just doing ridiculous funny moments all at the same time. Because anyone who's seen maybe even just a couple of harem anime, I don't even think you need to see a dozen, just a couple. Like, you know the tsundere who's like, oh, I don't really care, I'm not going to show my emotions, and then there's going to be drama because she gets jealous. You didn't show your emotions, so the boy moved on to someone who was showing them, right? By the end of, like, their first interaction, because they all bump into each other, the spark happens, and they're all head over heels, pretending to be injured so that he'll carry them off into the Sunset nurse's office, rushing to find the 4-leaf clover. And within, I don't know, like 10 minutes after meeting him, like, the first one already confesses her love, being like, I can't wait, I know someone else likes you, you gotta love me. And our boy's just so screwed. At first he was like, you know what, I'll just say I decline you both, and then I'll tell them secretly that I'm gonna date each of them. And I'm like, bro, you can try that, but there's gonna be 100 of these fools, it ain't gonna work out that well. But I love the idea that he just is like, you know what, I'm gonna date you both, because you guys are just awesome, and because the chemical reaction, it's not even just chemical reaction, it's literally love doctor, love god power levels, making it such an intense feeling that they're like, you know what? If it's the option of not being with you or being your second, I'll choose it. I'm like, oh my god, this poly relationship gonna be insane. So it looks like based on the little glimpse they showed us, there's gonna be 3 other girls that we get this season. Now, in terms of a premise, like, imagine whenever the manga eventually ends, we probably wouldn't get introduced to the full 100 in terms of having, like, a full-on character arc. I feel like unless you run as long as something like Rent-A-Girlfriend did, like, I mean, I doubt there's gonna be enough time to properly give 100 characters, but hey, maybe they do that. What I imagine a lot of authors would do is that, like, once they got close to the end, the final page would just show all 100, I mean, there's a moment in this episode that literally does have a silhouette of all the characters, right? So they might just do something like that. But I think thinking about a one core anime season, 5 girls seems about right, especially given the fact that we can clearly rush through things. And I don't say rush as an insult here. Like, rush is a good thing because this show is silly. It's absolutely pie on the face nonsense. So rather than taking it seriously like, oh, here's the tsundere, here's maybe the popular quiet girl, or, you know, the overly rambunctious teacher or whatever, right? No, like, just get to it. Like, just go absolutely balls to the walls, throw references, self-aware humor about cutting manga content. I mean, just have fun with it, and I think 5 characters is probably more than enough to really make this season pop while still getting multiple moments with all of these characters, right? Out of the 2, who was my favorite? I would probably say the more pervy one. I just liked her. I mean, the moment with the secondhand kiss, you know, the indirect kiss, the idea that he brings them like a can of juice or soda, and she's like, oh, you know, I don't like a full can, so how about you drink half? And then he's like, don't worry, I got the small one. And then she starts bringing math up, and the fact that he does drink it, and instead of going like he's super embarrassed and that's why he pulls it away, she's like just shaking, and like it's a waterfall like next to her lips without actually drinking it, and she almost like goes into cardiac arrest because, you know, she didn't get the secondhand kiss. And I'm just like, bro, what even is this show? Like, I knew it was silly, but I wasn't expecting the humor to click with me quite this hard, because I think this is the show that has an out of context manga panel where it's like 1,000 words or something on like a single page. I don't know if that like gets adapted this season or not, but I mean, based on what I saw here, there's a lot of ways I could see that working in a comedy way, but this was legitimately fun. This is the type of story that you could see so many authors taking too seriously, like just, I don't know, like maybe stretching things out, like, okay, he has 100 soulmates, so it's gonna take 3 episodes to get to the moment we got to by the end of this episode. Instead, they're like, no. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious you're gonna get that type of like humor, especially when the god is pretty much talking about how, like, in the manga, you know, like there's a lot of self-aware. There's a moment where they're approaching the high school. There's like, I forget exactly what it says, but it's something like, oh, this is his first day at school, I bet you didn't know that. And I'm like, okay, this is just taking the piss. I think probably the funniest moment is the fact that they confess their feelings, and they're basically like, give us your answer, and he's like, after commercial break. And the commercial break happens, and he's at home just contemplating life in general. There is some sweet moments, like the whole 4-leaf clover thing, but in general, it's just funny, man. They found a way to use God, a love god, in order to make such a ridiculous premise somehow work and feel like, rather than just thinking they're all idiots, instead there's like a literal otherworldly power controlling their fates, and they all gonna die if they don't stay together. That's pretty fantastic. This could be like the greatest harem anime ever made, but I'm definitely here for more. Let me know your thoughts down below. Favorite girl if you got one right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel. Like I mentioned, I have a full live reaction over on my Patreon if you're interested, and hey, while you're there, you can also get a video shout out. So today we have Claire, Thomas Abert, Edvar, Golden Angel 1517, and Ulcerin. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.